Welcome to the Smarter Balanced Assessment Consortium's Mathematics Stimulus Considerations Training Module. This module focuses on considerations for creating stimuli. This module will explain the purpose of stimuli and how to use and create stimuli when writing mathematics items and performance tasks. The three learning outcomes of this module are: define the purpose of stimuli for mathematics items and tasks, identify different types of stimuli, apply general guidelines to create stimuli. First, let's look at the different parts of an item. The stem is the question to which the student responds. The options are possible answers from which the student must select. The stimulus is the text, source, and/or graphic about which the item is written. In this item, the stimulus is the coordinate grid and functions. Item writers use stimuli to provide context and information that students will use to answer the question. Most items and tasks will include a stimulus as well as a stem. Stimuli can include text, tables, animated video clips, spreadsheets, graphs, models, audio recordings, and simulated web pages. Let's look at an example. In this item, the stimulus is an expression. Not all items have a stimulus. Here is an example of an item with a stem and options, but no stimulus. Graphics, charts, and formatting techniques help reduce the amount of reading required by students to answer the question. Graphics are only used to present information needed to answer the question, although there is sometimes information in a graphic not needed to answer the question. Never use decorative graphics. Charts and formatting techniques such as bulleted lists can be used to present important information needed to answer an item. The needed information stands out for students, reduces the amount of reading, and is less intimidating than blocks of text. Example A shows an item with a large block of text. The information the student needs to answer the question is not readily apparent and requires careful reading to locate. In example B, the information the student needs to answer the question is presented in bullets, emphasizing the information needed and making the item content more accessible to students. When developing or selecting stimulus materials, it is important to think carefully about the context produced by each stimulus. Use contexts that are both familiar and meaningful to the mathematics being assessed. Be sure the contexts are appropriate for the grade level of the student. Keep the amount of reading to a minimum, and non-mathematic vocabulary should be at least one grade level below that of the assessment. Be sure the source of information is reliable, and verify the accuracy of information presented when referencing factual information and real-world data. Metadata is information that is provided about information. For items and tasks, stimulus material provide information that students work with as they apply the knowledge and skill that is the target of assessment. For documentation purposes, there is a variety of metadata or information that must be provided for each stimulus. As a few examples, a unique identification number must be assigned to each stimulus. The stimulus needs to be categorized as factual or non-factual. And if factual, one needs to note whether it has been fact-checked. If the stimulus is linked or associated with other stimuli, this also needs to be documented. And the stimuli to which it is linked must be referenced. Additional metadata required for each stimulus material will be described in the module that focuses on the item writing system. This module examined several characteristics of stimuli that will be used in mathematics items and tasks. This module described the various types of stimuli, including text, graphics, and multimedia, that are appropriate for items and tasks that are designed to collect evidence for each of the 4 claims and associated assessment targets. The module described key characteristics of stimuli, such as grade-appropriate vocabulary and content that is directly related to information presented in the STEM. Finally, the metadata that should accompany stimuli were introduced.